As far as the CRZ goes, Mr. Chainani,
Yeah,
could you tell us a bit of how it got enacted? Because no one really knows how it came
right.
about.
Indira Gandhi in 1981 wrote to all chief ministers that 500 meters of the coastline should be protected. I don't remember the exact
Yeah,
phrases.
yeah.
Then, that time it was the Department of Environment.
But what prompted her to take this step?
I don't know. Maybe she saw a beach and got carried away. I don't
Okay,
know.
okay.
If I was in her place, I'd have done the same. Um, the the Department of Environment of the Government of India framed environmental guidelines for development of beaches. Now it's very interesting. In 1989, Rajiv Gandhi's government was defeated at the elections and Maneka Gandhi became the environment minister. I thought that or rather I feared that since she and Indira Gandhi had quarreled, she would try and undo everything that Indira Gandhi had done. Now there was a workshop, a seminar at Karachi, so two very senior Indian connected with conservation, I asked them to please speak to Maneka. They said give us a note, but it was really them saying as if it's my problem and not theirs. In any case, I was summoned to Delhi in January to meet Maneka Gandhi. Then I had no such fears. And the Ministry of Environment also had been working on giving statutory protection. I had also been writing from 1988 onwards about giving statutory protection. It all came together in the CRZ. Now there are many twists and turns, but there's no time now to tell you. But it's there in my book, and it'll be there in my book on Goa.
Looking back, where do you see the kind of trajectory of Indian conservation moving? In what direction?
Indian conservation, that's 33, 34 years ago, when I began working on environment 35 years ago, everyone asked what is environment. Everyone laughed at us. Every major campaign that we have fought, people have said you will lose. Whether it's challenging ONGC for Nava Island or Indian Navy or the developers, now by grace of Guru Nanak, we have been able to have some success. So now nobody says you're mad, but I think our country, our cities are going down the tube because there's such heavy construction that whatever conservationists can do, at this stage we are just putting our fingers in the dike.
But your message is that if you take up a battle and if you fight consistently, something is possible.
You will win.
You will win.
There's no question. If the Goans get their act together, their beaches will remain green. I read books on Goa. I've got a couple of dozen. They say, oh, how lovely Goa was, and our beaches were nice, and now out polluted. Why don't they get moving? If Panjim is such a lovely city, unfortunately to the west, you all have sold Panjim Goa only for beaches. Why don't you sell it for its Spanish architecture, etc.? For the churches, which are beautiful. At least the Americans, the Europeans may see some of it in Europe, but I don't think so. The Brits don't see it, the Americans don't see it. Why don't you all take them there? But for that, you have to preserve it. I went to Salegaon, where there's a church, and I was shocked. In the villages, 5-story buildings coming up. So Panjim is going, Margao will go, Kalangut, Candolim has gone. What will we be left? You'll be left with a 5-story suburb of Bombay.
But the battle is very much winnable. If there are only very few people putting their hands
together. There are very few. They must get their act together. We must all get our act together. And I think you must know how to tackle the bureaucracy. Basically, you've got to be persistent. You cannot say, oh, I tried, I failed. That is absolutely unacceptable. It happens to me all the way. Oh, but I tried. What did you do? I wrote a letter. And they didn't reply. That's the beginning. If you're a salesman, do you just make a cold call and forget about it? You go again and again and again. That's the way to go about it. And if 2-3 environmental groups get going to protect the coastline, some things they may not be able to do, like an excess of outsiders. But I was just toying with the idea. Why not a law saying that no non-Goan can own land? It's there in Himachal. I think it's there in other states. Because otherwise, the Goans, they're a small culture. They'll be just bulldozed over. Many friends of mine are buying properties all over Goa. So I've told them, in fact, last few days, enjoy it while you can. It's not going to last.
Thank you so much.